everyone. Welcome to the Golden Hour. I am Golden Duffy, your host, and today is a good day. Every day is a good day, is it not? But today we're talking about something that is near and dear to me, and that is drama. The drama that we create, the drama that we inspire in life, the drama that is no longer necessary for any of us to be living. I'm looking at each situation in my life, and I have a couple of cool stories to share, but I'm looking at my life and I'm going, okay, how am I contributing to the drama in my life? What are the stories that I am telling that are creating drama in my life? So once you start to understand this game, you start to understand the game of life, you start to understand how to play it. And what you do is you start to look at the energy around you and you start to look at the energy within you. What energy am I creating from? What are the thoughts and the feelings and the beliefs that I am conducting from right now? And this is where the fun part starts. Do I have to choose that? Realizing that you have a choice is another level of the awakening game. Realizing that and exercising your choice is another level of the game. So once you start to realize that, this is your world and you are creating it, you start to let go of victimhood. Now it takes some time. It definitely takes some time. And it's easy to slip back into victim mode. So be easy on yourself. Victim mode is even being critical of yourself. Being self-critical is a part of victimhood because you are a victim to that part of yourself, right? That committee that tells you that you're not good enough, that creates those doubts within you, that those neural pathways, habits, and loops that keep you in cycles are a piece of victimhood. So when you really start to become empowered, when you really start to live full out, you begin to be at choice. But in the beginning, it doesn't feel so much like a choice. It actually feels like kind of an inconvenience to know this stuff and not have the power fully to know how to change it. And this conversation is going to help you exponentially because it's recognizing and it's waking that part of yourself up that goes, there's no drama necessary. I don't need to create drama from this. And this is from the small things to the big things because we have power over all of them. And when you start to recognize that, starting small will actually fuel the bigger things because once we create the momentum, once you understand law of attraction, right? Once you understand universal law, which is basically we are sending the signal to everything. We are beaming a signal out to draw things to us. Now that's like the first level of understanding law of attraction is that you're the beamer of the light. Like you are lighting up, and wherever you are lit up, the other things that are like it are lit up and are coming to you because like attracts like. So we have this alignment going on, this energetic alignment that fuels what energy is coming into our life. And if you look at your life, you will see it. This is why people have bad days because they start out with a moment in the morning that throws them off the horse and they just continue the cycle all day. A lot of times, and this is where the drama comes in, a lot of times you're sharing the story of your crappy morning all day long. And that's what fuels more and more drama because it continues to put you in the alignment of whatever happened in the morning. It continues to carry this story throughout the day, which carries the energy throughout the day. So you are the greatest conductor. You are the greatest creator in the story. And once you really start to understand that and conduct from it, man, life becomes a wild ride, a wild, wonderful ride because you're no longer subject to the drama that your mind really wants to play with you. Your mind likes to work on problems. And I know this may feel like repetition from if you've listened to a lot of my podcasts or my TV show. So this is presenting on the Golden Hour, but this is also being shared to the podcast. And I should say this is season 2, episode 31. And this is all about creating a story around the energy of your life that is not dramatic, that doesn't have the dramatic energy that is creating worry and misery for you. understand that if you are in the drama or if you are in a habit of creating drama, that sometimes that's part of the process to getting to what you want. It's part of the beginning process to manifesting for a lot of us. The part that I would like to help you shift and things that I still work on is not being in that beginning process where we're constantly in the drama first and then fueling the desire through our drama, but instead fueling our desires through what we desire, not necessarily on the heels of those worst case scenarios that we tend to play out in our minds, but instead it's having something happen and creating from the faith that it's going to work out instead of going through all that drama and trauma and all of that. Now, it's a healing game. So, wherever you're at in it, you're in the perfect place to expand and grow with me. And I'm not saying that I am any more advanced than anybody else, but the understandings that are coming are, they are fast right now. The downloads I'm getting are really intense. And I'm actually working on a spiritual book that I'm really excited about that's kind of flooding through just to get more into the spiritual energy of manifesting, because the science is awesome and it helps our logical mind. But the spiritual piece of it is what really chills us out. It's what really creates that peace within us because we are more connected to our higher consciousness. So I have a cute little story to share with you. And it really made me feel like, geez, like this is such powerful stuff. And it really does just create a better life. So I actually got tickets to see Jerry Seinfeld in LA. My wonderful, amazing, best girlfriend forever sent me tickets. And my husband and I went to LA and we parked somewhat far away from the location because there was so much traffic and stuff that we just kind of got rooted into this parking lot that was pretty long distance walk. I've gotten very smart in my older age and I wear the right shoes. So that's super important. I look super cute, but I had super good shoes on. And you can wear cute shoes that are comfortable and they don't have to be like running sneakers. Just want to say that. Public service announcement. Anyways, so we walk all the way into the thing. It's a little bit of a walk. It was a beautiful evening, thank goodness. And we were feeling great. And we start to get up to the line, and there's a gentleman outside selling clear bags. Now, if you've been to an event recently, they've kind of transitioned to these clear bags where they want to see everything in your bag and they don't want to go through your bags anymore. He said, "You're not going to be able to get in with your purses, lady. You better, ladies, you better." And this is the funny thing. I swear this was like universal orchestration for me to show this so that I could do this show today, so that I could, because I never bring my purse to these things. I usually grab my lipstick, my phone, I throw it in my pocket, and I'm good to go. I don't usually bring my purse, but we kind of got to the venue. We both had to go to the bathroom really bad. So we were kind of rushing, not fully present, right? So grab my purse. So my husband says to me, "How do you feel about throwing your purse away?" And I was like, I'm not doing that. My purse I got from Morocco. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite purses I've ever had. Like, there's no way. So we get up, we start to get blind. We start seeing and noticing people, women, husbands, grabbing their wives' purses and going back to the car. Now we're far from the car. And the show is about to start too, by the way. And it was funny, we were walking in with a couple and they were kind of rushing and they were like, "We parked so far away and I don't want to miss the first act." And my husband said, "We're going to get there at the perfect time." And they were like it had not occurred to them to set that intention. And this man looked at my husband. He was like, "Oh, really? You think so?" And my husband's like, "We always get there at the perfect time." So we kind of like reset it for them. And we did get there at the perfect time. Like, we literally sat down and the show started within like a minute. So we start to get up to the line. I keep seeing people leave with their purse, but I'm also noticing like every woman has a purse. Some of them have like the shoulder ones. So I'm like, they're letting people in because not every person is leaving this line. So they are letting people in with purses. So I kind of just like set the intention that I'm getting through, and I kind of try to hide it in my jacket. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that. I don't like that feeling. I'm not doing that. I'm getting in with my purse. So we get up to the line, and the gentleman standing there looks at me and he goes, "Can you open your bag, ma'am?" And I open my bag. I'm like, "It's just makeup." And he was like, "Okay, I want you to just go through this as quickly as you can because I'm not supposed to let you in with that. Your bag is too big," right? There was a certain square footage we weren't supposed to go in with. So ridiculous. So I was like, "God bless you." He's like, "Just go," right? So we get through, and I'm just like, like, no drama necessary was what I kept saying in that line, because in front of my eyes, you guys, this is what it is. My reality all around me was telling me that bags were not getting in, that certain size bags were not getting in. I don't have a really big bag, but I have a mid-size bag. So all around me, I'm seeing evidence that there is a potential that I'm going to be kicked back, and one of us is going to have to run to the car. I don't have running shoes on, by the way. Okay. And my husband's ready to throw my purse in the garbage. So there we are with that. So all around me is that evidence. And I just kept saying, no drama necessary, no drama necessary. And I kept envisioning myself getting through with my purse on the other side. So this is how you raise your vibe. This is how you put yourself in a position where there is no drama necessary. Now, I could have been in that line and created a lot of stress, and I could have been very upset. I could have already sent my husband back to the car because I was nervous about it or whatever, but I tuned it out. I continually tuned it out. Now, I'm not telling you guys, like, this is not the easiest thing to do, especially when there is evidence right in front of you that this is happening. So it takes practice. It takes practice, and it takes a serious amount of determination to decide for yourself that something is not going to happen to you that might be happening to everyone around you. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Like, when I did this and I stood on the other side, I thought to myself, this is the most powerful stuff in the universe. Because what it does is it creates an energy field of your life that allows you to live in more faith and more goodness. It allows you to live less stress and misery and worry. That's what it does. So if you could imagine that worry, stress, and misery are like down here, and appreciation and love and joy and goodness and laughter and lightheartedness are up here, you have to continually bring yourself higher throughout the day to be in this energy and this higher vibration. If you are continually letting yourself drop, you're going to have you're going to have an uneasy time. You're going to have a very wishy-washy time of energy around you, and things are going to go good sometimes and they're not going to go good other times. You can always trace things back to the way you were feeling. And I love that. I love that because that makes me go, yeah, this makes sense. I remember one day I was like totally stressed out, running around the kitchen, and I dropped like an entire bag of cat food on the floor. And I literally started laughing because I recognized that my stress, my anxiety, my rushing actually created more energy in my field to deal with, which was going to make me later. So you can always trace it back. And it doesn't necessarily need to be like a match for a match, right? It just is, it's the feeling. It's the absolute feeling. Look at the wave behind me. It's the energy and motion that creates more energy in that motion. I was in that line and I was determined. I literally put my blinders on to the point where like three women in front of me, I watched them get out of line, the husband take the bag and walk back to their car. I watched the whole thing, and all I thought was, that's not happening to us. That's all I thought. That's all I kept thinking. So it's not exactly easy when it's like so in your face, but it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible for every single one of you to experience this throughout your life, no matter what's going on. This is why we can get parking places when there's like 10 people going around a parking lot. And all of a sudden, the person in front of us will pass, and then a person right in front of us will start to back out and we get a spot. It happens so often because we have that trajectory, we have that momentum of things working out for us. How often, and I have so been a part of this. How often do you go to places, especially in California? If you don't live in California, you may not experience this, but parking here, especially in the beach towns, can be really intense. So how often have you gone to a place, gone to a venue, gone anywhere, and you're stressed about the parking before you even get there? And you're like, we're not going to find parking. Like, how often your words are so powerful. How often do you do that to yourself? Or we're going to be late. How often do you say we're going to be late? These are all dramatic energies and things that you are saying that are creating what you don't want to be living. That's what they are. They're drama driven energies. Oh, I like that. Drama driven energies. Just made that one up. Drama driven energies that are not necessary in your life. So I'm going to share a couple of the ways that you can start to expand and grow into this field of understanding awareness and choice. Let me just see where I started. Okay. So the pressure and the fear and the anxiety of creating when it comes to last minute stuff, right? Like when we're in a position, let's say it's desperation of money or rent money or mortgage money or whatever it is. You're in your pressure. You got pressure, right? The pressure is on. You have a deadline of something that you need to manifest. And you've put yourself under so much pressure that there's just this huge amount of tension in your life. Maybe you're not sleeping good at night. Maybe you have headaches. Maybe you just have like neck pain or shoulder pain or whatever tenseness that you have in your body is that resistance to the energy field of the way it looks right now because you're looking to create something and it hasn't happened yet. You're living in the tension and the stress, which is actually the lack of the energy of it happening for you, of it being orchestrated for you. So what that does is it slows the energy way down. So if you really want to amp up the energy in your favor, you got to relax. That's a number 1,000%. You got to relax. Deep breaths, meditation, quieting your mind, putting yourself in a wonderful place where you allow all of your muscles to relax. I've shared many times, but I always need to share this with you. M21 Revolution group on Facebook is a great resource. If you want to learn how to meditate, there is a 21-day challenge at the top of that page that is there for you with 21 days of meditating. You can also use YouTube. I love YouTube for meditations. That group is free and it's donation-based challenges. We don't have any challenges going on particularly right now. So you can come in for free. You can try a challenge, see how much you like it, and then you'll be in there for the next one that we promote when we're in there daily for 21 days. Meditation is huge. It's huge for you to take your power back and to understand that you are that you have space between your thoughts and your reactions and what's happening. My favorite. Meditation is always my favorite. Okay. So the first part of this is to become an observer. So what I was doing was when you're an observer, and this is what happens when you meditate, you become the observer. Like you stop being in the mind, right? Like in the self-consciousness, the judgment, the perception. You're no longer in the perception. You've actually risen above it. Now you're the observer. I like to call it the hawk, right? We got to be the hawk. So now we're at the hawk and we're flying above everything. And now we have that bird's eye view of everything going on. So as I rose above myself, right, above those lower vibrations and that lower reality, right? This is like the lower reality. This is like in your face. What's happening right now to most people is they're getting kicked to the curb and they have to get out of line. But I rise above and I'm the observer and I'm observing women getting through with their purses, right? This is such a silly example, but it totally works. So I'm observing this and I'm seeing them go through without a problem. So now I'm observing this and I'm becoming one of them. I'm deciding that I'm identifying with the people who are getting through, right? That's identity creation, becoming acting as if, walking up to this man with all of my confidence and none of my fear and being like, here you go, right? And my smile. I'm sure that helped. I also bless this man. I've also sent this man love and light several times afterwards in gratitude, because that's just the energy field is ripe for that. He did me a solid. There's no doubt about it. It's also believing that you will have people in your path that support you, that love you, that will give you passes to get through certain situations, and you won't experience the lower fields of energy, those lower, denser fields of reality where things are not going people's way, where people are being inconvenienced, where rules are being, pushed. You got to let it go. Okay. So become the observer. We tend to be addicted to reality. We tend to go, I've heard people say, oh, I'm a realist, right? Why would you want to be a realist? Like, if things in your field are not happening the way you want them to be, then the reality that you are in right now is a product of what you were thinking about before this moment, which means that you can change the next moment as soon as this moment, because you have the ability to do that, because each moment is created now, 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 right? So become the observer and stop being so addicted to reality. Stop looking at what's happening to everybody else and deciding that that's what's going to happen to you, deciding that that's truth for you. That wasn't truth for me. A couple of other examples. Oh, taking other people's experiences. So right before we moved to California 8 years ago from Connecticut. And right before we moved, we didn't tell a lot of people that we were leaving, but we told a few, and a few of them were negative. A few of them were like, you're crazy. Why would you want to do that? It's so expensive out there. I got the drought talk, which is so funny because I literally was like, the drought is ending when I get there. Like, we're not dealing with drought, right? And it has ended since then. Like, we've had tons of rain. Like, it's just so funny when people are like, oh, you can't move there because of the drought, or you can't do that because of the rules, or like, people put barriers in your way. They put limitations in your way because of what they've experienced, or because of what they didn't experience, because they let the rules decide for them instead of doing what they wanted to do and deciding that it was going to work out for them. We had a situation, I think I shared about my neighbor. We've actually been turned into the home association for our new sanctuary outside, and no drama necessary. So we talked about it a little bit the other night. And, there is a part of this where you need to vent. You need to have your moment to talk to your spouse or talk to your partner or talk to your friend and have your venting moment. But if you stay in that vent, if you stay in that emotional place, that's what you're going to create from. So, we talked about a few things and we got a little bit charged up. And then the next day I realized this is so 3D reality. It really is so 3D reality, because the problems that people are having with this really have no bearing on their lives whatsoever. So it's hilarious that people, because of rules or whatever, they need to use their power to try to make other people suffer. However, we will not do that. We will not suffer. We're not going to create drama. We're just going to keep going. That's all we're going to do. We're going to just put it away and we're going to keep going. So we had our moment of charge. And then the next day, when I realized this whole like 3D versus 5D, maybe you've heard of 3D, maybe you've heard of 5D, but it's like raising above the dimension that we're in now. So if you think about your life in a dimension, you think about the realness, the physicalness is all there is. If you're living in a 3D reality, like, that's all there is. There's nothing I can do about it. It's a very kind of powerless way to live. And it's before that real awakened state. So once you start to awaken and you realize, oh, I'm going to rise above this 3D reality and I'm going to create a new reality where I get through a line that other people didn't get through a line with my size purse, right? Like I'm going to create a new reality where my structure outside that has created an incredible sanctuary for my family. It's a beautiful space. It's a wonderful thing that we did. I'm going to live in the reality where that is untouched, where that goes just appreciated and loved, and there's no drama necessary. So my husband and I keep rising up above these situations. So I started thinking about it, and after, I was thinking about a few things that my neighbor had asked me to do that I'm not sure. I'm not going to make up a story because I don't know if they're the ones that turned us in. It looks that way, but I don't know that for sure. That's definitely an assumption. So I thought about it, and there were a few things I thought about. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do what I said I was going to do because, and then I thought, wow, that's a habit. That's a habit for us to go into this defense mode where we are not in love and compassion, and we're throwing drama. That's what we're doing. We're digging our heels in. We're creating a situation where we feel we need to take our power back in some way. But if we're not disempowered, we don't have to do that. You never have to go and exercise your power over someone if you're already empowered within. So realizing that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get back into my love and compassion. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to let it go. And as these things come up, there is a very, very strong trust and faith that my husband and I have that this is most likely going to lead us to something else, to something bigger, to something better, to something that is more in alignment with who we are. If we look around our neighborhood, we are not in alignment with any of the people around us except for one who I adore, who will be in my life forever. She was on my show in the beginning of the show. Oh, gosh, she was on one of my first shows. She was either my first or my second show. So if you're not in alignment with what's going on around you, it may be time to move. It may be time to expand and grow. It may be time for us to, live in a different environment where we feel more aligned with the energy field. I'm always all about living closer to the ocean, which I live 10 minutes away from there now, but I would love to be able to bike or walk to the ocean. So that's in there. I've got my wishes down. So the next manifestation that's happening may come on the heels of this, right? But again, it doesn't have to be created through drama. No drama necessary. I've already paved the way, and so has my husband, for the most amazing situation to happen where we just flow out of here. There's no stress, there's no drama necessary, and it's a really big and exciting thing for us to the next step, the next move. Okay. Let me get back to what we're doing. Okay. Make strong decisions around what you want to create. Strong decisions are really important. And this is why, because many of us have wishy-washy energy. We have split energy on things. We want things, but we're afraid to want them. Because if we want them and we don't get them, then we've proved that we're not good at manifesting. I think that's part of it. The other thing is, like, we don't want to feel miserable. So we're like, well, if I don't want that too hard, then I won't be miserable. But when you want things, when you really desire things and you have a strong energy conduction towards them, you're fueling the flame of universal orchestration. You're fanning it, you're fueling it, the flame of universal orchestration. So what you really want to do is you want to get really solid on what you're looking to create. And then no drama necessary. Drama comes in. It's like knocking on your door, like, oh gosh, lots of things that could come up, rental prices, and how are you, and you got so much stuff, and like all these things could come up. You can't do that, and what do you think you're doing? And that's going to take money, and all these little doubts that come in and basically derail your plans and split your energy field. If it's like, no, I'm doing this, and you continually interrupt those neural pathways, just like with any drama, if you interrupt those neural pathways, you're going to a new place. You're raising your vibration to a new place. Watch your energy and use it to your advantage. Keep your energy high. So, you wake up in the morning, and if you're not taking advantage of the fact that the morning is the first time you start to set your dial Think about this as a radio station. When you wake up in the morning, you're setting your dial for the day. My daughter and I yesterday, we spent some time together. The energy was a little funky around yesterday. I'm not sure why that is, but her and I got into a few like just dramatic conversations about people, and we kept cutting ourselves off. My husband is really good at this, where he will literally interrupt me and be like, okay, you're going down a bad road. Such a great reminder. Do I get mad at him? Absolutely not. It's a favor to me. It's absolutely a favor to me. So pay attention to that. Pay attention when you're going into complaining mode, or you're going into gossip mode, right? Talking about people, or you're going into worst case scenario mode, where if anytime you start a sentence with I don't want this to happen, you are focused in the opposition to what you want to happen. And it's good clarity. It's absolutely good clarity, but let's shift it as quickly as possible as we can, because remember, your words are powerful. You are an alchemist. You are changing energy all the time by the signal you're sending, by the energy that you're promoting, by what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're conducting from, those feelings, those beliefs. They're all sending out a signal that draws more of that energy back to you. It doesn't mean you have to be a Nazi with your thoughts, but it does mean if you become more aware of your thoughts, you'll be more aware of your feelings. Like if you catch yourself in the middle of a thought and you start feeling really yucky, put it to bed. Put it to bed. Like I had a moment the other morning, and like we started talking about this notice that came for our violation before I went to sleep that night. And I woke up the next morning and I was like kind of like refreshed on that little bit of uneasiness about it. And my husband was like, no, no drama necessary. And I just brought myself back into that moment of no drama necessary. I don't have to create that. I don't have to create any of this. Yesterday, I spent the day with one of my daughters. It's her birthday this weekend. She's turning 20. She's my 11/11 baby. Super spiritual. So awesome that she was born on 11/11. It's like so perfect. She's actually gone to the Grand Canyon today, and she is staying. My husband rented her a little RV to stay in. These girls with their like solo trips, their mom, no drama necessary, mom, like just put angels around them and let it go, because these girls are going to do, they say the hardest thing about raising daughters is raising independent, strong women is you got to really trust, and you got to really have faith, and I really believe in protection, and I really believe in calling in angels and letting it go, not worrying and not having anxiety, and knowing that all is well, and that what they're being called to is important for them to experience, and to not dissuade them from that. Like my husband said, they want to go on these birthday trips by themselves because they want to experience nature and they want to be alone and they don't want to deal with other people. We have to trust that. And I 1000% believe that. So yesterday we spent the day together to celebrate her birthday, and she is really amazing and interesting to hang around with because she has no consideration for time. And we actually talked about, how she needs help with this. She was saying, no one's ever taught her how to have a respect for time. She's a very free spirit. She's done really well in the last several months, probably 6 to 7 months, of being on time for work. So work has really helped her to kind of be on a schedule. But as far as when you hang out with her, we had plans to do other things. We were going to go for a hike, and then we were going to go get smoothies, and then we are going to go take a shower. And she had me all over the place. We went to all these different stores, and I'm unshowered in my jogging clothes and my baseball hat. And that's just not the way that I like to present in the world. Like I like to be showered. I like to feel good. It's just what I like to do. So I was creating a little bit of drama because I hadn't eaten, like we didn't eat until like noon, which is I don't really like to do that. And B, I wanted to shower so we could go do this other thing that she wanted to do. And we ended up running out of time because she spent way too much time in this one store, and it frustrated me because I had my acting class at night and I couldn't concede. Like I had to be somewhere, and we ran out of time, and she was, a little bit upset about that. And I felt, I could feel like she was a little bit upset at me. And I was just like creating drama. I literally was creating drama. Like I could feel myself creating drama. And the great thing about our family now is that when we do have these moments of drama or these moments of intense emotion where we're not really communicating because, people are just like on the defense or offense, like pretty soon after, within 10 minutes after, we're back together apologizing and processing, seeing where we went wrong, seeing where the conversation went wrong, seeing where the communication was off. So I kept thinking to myself, like I sat there at the table and I was feeling like this was my feeling. I spent my whole day trying to make her happy and now she's disappointed and she thinks it's my fault. And what am I going to do with that? Am I going to sit here and be dramatic about it and upset about it? Or am I just going to make the decision that I did the best I could? And that's what I did. I got up from the table and I was like, I did the best I could. I made myself a snack. She had already left the house and I let myself relax for a little while before my class, which I wouldn't have been able to do. So I took advantage of it in the best way possible. And I texted her and told her how much I loved her and, that we could do a little mini do-over for what we didn't get to experience together. And, we weren't out of time, that her birthday could go on for an extra week or two and we would still be able to celebrate. So that was really cool that I was able to see how. Now, this is where I would like to get better. I would like to not create the drama in the first place. But we're human and we have these human reactions. We have these human conditions, right? Like I have some of this energy of like just trying to do all these things to make everybody happy. And then when they're not happy, I feel disappointed and I feel upset. But it's because, I was doing too much to make sure that someone else was happy and I was ignoring my own happiness, which was I need to go home and take a shower. Like that should have been said at 9 o'clock in the morning instead of 3. So recognizing these things is the best way to change them and not, because this is where the drama comes in, not beating yourself up. When you beat yourself up, you're just creating more unnecessary drama. All right. So, if you don't, okay, let's see. Set strong intentions no matter what it looks like. That was the last thing. Get in some sort of action. So the action could be, I'm waiting in line with my purse. What kind of action can I take? I can create the action of manifesting the best possible man to be in line with, right? Because there's all these different lines. I picked the right line. That was my action. My action also was to ignore what was going on around me, to not give in to the energy field around me. That's an action. When you're not giving into the reality around you and fussing and getting worried and stressed out, that's an action. Think about it as a path. You can either take the path of stress and worry, or you can take the path of rise up to a different path where you're in love and appreciation and well-being, where you trust in the ability for the energy to meet you in well-being. If you don't like it, if you don't like what's happening, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Not in my world. I say that all the time. Not in my world. That's why I don't listen to what's going on in the world. It's very, 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 like there's a lot of things going on. I understand that. But first of all, I don't trust any of it. And I don't know if I can believe any of it because there's so much that wants to pull us away from our truth. There's so much that wants to disempower us. There's so much that wants to fragment us into stress and worry where we are not in our power. We're going to be empowered. We're going to create a better world by being in our own energy field and not allowing all this crazy static around us to infiltrate our well-being, to infiltrate our alignment with well-being. Trust and have faith by letting go of anxiety and fear. Trust and have faith that things are going to work out for you, that everything's going to be okay. When you trust and have faith that everything's going to be okay, everything else falls away. Connect with and dig deep in. Dig deep into your determination of what you really want to happen. Do everything you can and then relax. Do everything you can and then relax. You got to activate some sort of energy. If you're just sitting there waiting, right? The energy's heavy, it's dense, you're waiting. So just do what you can do. This past week, I met with two different people about some business ideas that I have. Now, I've had these business ideas for a little while. And if you're a client of mine, or if you've done group coaching with me or any of that, you may have noticed that I've let everything go. I haven't even had a lot of guests on this show because I'm clearing the energy field. I'm basically like, okay, there's a new start, there's a new beginning, there's new things happening. I have the coolest idea, I think, ever. And I'm really excited about it. So I had two different meetings this week with two different people that I'm really excited about it. So that's activation. And now I just need to move forward with the energy in different ways where I'm now masterminding in my own mind. And now I have other people masterminding with me. And then I know I shared with you guys recently that I started an acting class, and I believe this acting class is part of my idea. Like, I think I just got the hit last night. So last night we finished up our last acting class. So there's actually two parts. So we finished the first part and I'm getting ready to sign up for the second part. It's called Living Truthfully. It's an amazing program. The man's name, I think, is Ivan Meisner, not the BNI guy. This is a different guy. But the program is called Living Truthfully, and I just love it. Like, it's been so impactful in my life to learn about myself, and I had no idea why I was doing it. I don't really have an interest in becoming an actress. But I realized I really like acting. Like, I like being in a character. I find it kind of enthralling to be in the energy field and intensity of emotion of a pretend character. Like, it's so cool. And in Law of Attraction, it's acting as if it's becoming. So it really aligns with, and a lot of this book aligns with my belief. The book is called Living Truthfully, if you want to read it. It's so interesting. If you are interested in acting, this is an incredible class to take. The one I'm taking is the Actors Studio in Orange County. So last night we finished up, and we have this cute little community. It was just like a couple of people. It wasn't a big group. And we realized last night, like, we are a community. And I started talking to a few people, and I started realizing that my idea really aligns with what a lot of these people, the information these people also have. So it was really cool to go, oh, wow, maybe this is a step towards that, because I had no idea why I took this acting class. Like, not really any idea at all. I just did it because it sounded like fun. And I thought, you know what? It's an experience. It's out of my comfort zone. And I'm sure that I will learn something about myself. Plus, if I'm on camera, anything like that's going to help. Super cool. Learned so much. And I'm excited to see what unfolds from that. So in activating the energy, just meeting with people, networking, talking about your ideas, and then looking for the evidence of your ideas in the field and following the energy is what it's all about. Watch for the energy flow. So the energy you'll start to see things happening, and it'll be easy for you to follow them. That's flow. That's the path of least resistance. It should never really be hard. If something gets really hard, back away. Back away for a little bit. Give the energy field time to manipulate, time to orchestrate. Because if you're trying too hard, that means you're doing it on your own, and it's time to call in universal forces, because this is a co-creative world. Yes, you are powerful. Yes, you have all the power, but you also have this incredible non-physical support team that you can call on at any time. When it looks like things won't work out, right? Husband leaving with big purse. When it looks like things won't work out, that's when you need to get even stronger in your determination. Oh no, nope, nope, nope. Nope, not in my world, right? Get stronger and have even more faith. Up level into that faith. Stay true to what you want. Stay true to what you want. I think what happens a lot of times for people is they don't see immediate evidence of what they want happening, so they shift it. They shift it to something else. This really good example of that, and I know I've shared it before, but I love to share this story, was my car. Because I was driving an Infiniti and I'd wanted a Mercedes for a really long time. And in fact, when I bought my Infiniti, I um I could have afforded a Mercedes, and I got the Infiniti because I didn't think I could afford a Mercedes, but I never really looked into it, and I totally could have, like, looking at the payments. So when it came to that and me wanting a Mercedes, it didn't look possible. I had too much, I was upside down in my car. I had too much negative equity, and it was going to be, my payments were going to be too much, and it wasn't lining up. And through the course of that, I kept switching cars because I kept thinking I can't afford a Mercedes. And I don't know what Mercedes I wanted. And I just didn't have a clear picture. I had very split energy throughout the course of like a year, maybe more, maybe 2 years. So then I was listening to Fred Dodson's Universal, what is it called? Oh, wait, it's under here. Hold on. Parallel Universes of Self. It holds up my computer. Fred Dodson's book. Listen to it, don't read it. It's so dense. It's so dense and intense. But in that book, he was saying the reason why you don't manifest is because you're always switching what you want. Because once it doesn't happen in your timeline, you shift it and then you go on to something else. So I started to really focus on what I wanted. And this car pops up out of nowhere. It's a Mercedes GLE 350. It's a cute little SUV, not a big one, but a cute one. And I wanted an SUV. I wanted to be up higher, but I wanted a smaller SUV. I don't really like a big vehicle. I don't like driving a big vehicle. So I put it out there. I started getting excited about it. I started seeing it everywhere. And then all these things started to happen. These miracles started to come into place where I had been paying a little extra on my car payment every month for a while. When I called the car company, this is energy flow. The first thing I did was I called Mercedes, and the gentleman who answered the phone was Richard Wright. Yes, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright and I hit it off. Loved this guy. We were like brother and sister, like literally just laughing, joking, just getting each other. He tells me I should come down. He tells me, you should get down here. We've got some good deals going on. And then I called my car company to see what the negative equity was, and it had considerably gone down. So I'm like, oh, wait, I don't own as much as I thought. That's energy starting to open up. And then I got the deposit, like money flowed in for the deposit, and he found me the perfect car. And it was like the easiest car transaction I've ever been through because I was in alignment with it. I literally would see myself driving it. I would see the keys in my hand. I trusted, I believed, and I manifested. So with that, the switching is why you may not be manifesting, because you're not holding to your vision. You're all over the place with it. And I think with this new business idea that I'm having, I've been doing that, where I've been switching, like maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. And I'm kind of scared and I don't know. And last night was definitely a solidification from talking to my acting friends that this is a good idea, that I need to do this, that this is a really good idea. And I just need to take a leap of faith here and put out what I'm dishing, right? Like to actually do what I'm saying you should do. I'll show you. Okay. Realize that this isn't so serious. I think we get really wrapped up in the seriousness of it all, in the manifesting, in the pressure of life and making things happen. And we forget. We forget to have fun. We forget that this life is ours to enjoy. It's ours to laugh at. It's ours to be lighthearted with. It's ours to change energy for people and be hysterical and have a good time. Recently I've been walking. I've had the most magical moments walking lately. So you guys know I promote this, like walking in nature every day it will change your life in so many ways. I can't even say enough about it. I am so committed to walking, and it's so not about exercise for me, but it checks off that box for me because I walk for an hour. And just so you know, if you walk an hour, you burn like 2,200 calories. Yeah. So if you're not eating like a pig, you're going to lose weight. Like you're going to drop, right? You're going to drop if you eat healthy. So I'm walking, and today I felt the magic today. It was a breezy, beautiful fall day, and the weather is just really stellar. And I found this new trail recently that's really secluded, really just total woods, canyon, gorgeous. See tons of animals all the time. And I keep seeing these road runners, and the totem for road runners is humor. It's laughter, it's humor, it's being lighthearted. So it's never lost on me. I see these roadrunners every day. There's two of them. And I see at least one every day. And sometimes he walks with me for a little while and they're just hysterical looking. So that's always very lighthearted. So I was just feeling the magic today. And I walked and I did my walk and I was coming back and there was this young buck, like little horns, just all by himself, standing, looking at me in the path. And we locked eyes for at least 60 seconds, which feels like an eternity. And I was walking very slowly towards him. And then he started to walk into the woods and he stopped in the woods and he looked back at me again for like another minute. So I was like, whoa, that was such an experience. Like these are experiences in life that they're not lost on me. I stop and I get caught up in the magic. And then I'm walking, and a while ago, I had seen these pigeons who were doing this crazy performance in front of me. And it was on the other side of the canyon. And then I saw them the other day, and they were on the other side of the canyon. Today, they were right above my head. I walked this trail probably for the last 2 weeks, and this is the first time they were on this side of the trail. And they were right over my head. And they're doing they do formations. So they're on the ground and they're eating. Then all of a sudden they all elevate and they all do these crazy formations and they're doing them over my head. Like it was so cool. And I was just in awe. And all of a sudden this other group of pigeons joins them. It was just like magic. Like it just felt very magical to me. And it's just, it's like that wonder of life, and there's butterflies and there's birds and there's dragonflies. And it's like, there's so much beauty all around us to enjoy when we put ourselves in places where we are available for that. There's other people that can walk that trail that would not have the same experience that I do because they're in their heads. And I have moments where I'm like, okay, all right, let's not think about that right now. I'm in the canyon. Like I'm going to look for birds, and it gets me in that like meditative, quieted mind space where intuitions can come, where information can be downloaded, where I can receive and I can witness miracles and magic and fun in my environment all by myself, right? Not all by myself, right? We're not all by ourselves. And that's the cool thing. So place yourself in nature more. Put yourself in places where you are a little free, where you can feel a little bit of freedom. All of us have a half an hour to an hour every day. All of us have it. Put your phone down for a little while. Turn the TV off for a little while. Get your body moving outside because there's so many benefits to walking. From your brain to your physical body to your spiritual body, there is so much in just doing that one thing for yourself. I promise it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. It also really checks the box off of, am I doing something with my physical body? Because if you're beating yourself up for that, I actually did a post on Facebook today and it was a permission slip. I'm going to give you all the permission slip right now. All right, your permission slip. You now have permission to live your life fully, to live your life full of joy. You now have permission to let go of all those relationships and all of those activities that are sucking the life out of you. You now have permission to live your life unapologetically for your own heart's desires. You now have permission to follow your dreams, to listen to that small voice inside of you, that what your heart is calling you to. You have permission to write that book. I'm giving you permission to start that podcast or that YouTube channel or whatever it is that every day you wake up and think, I should do that. I'm giving you permission. Because if you don't do it now, when? If you don't take advantage of life now, when? It's time to live your life fully now. It's time to start manifesting now because this now moment is what creates the next. If you're looking for more information on the law of attraction, you can find my books on Amazon. Search for Golden Duffy books. You'll find the Mindful Manifestation Secrets. It's a super short guide that will help you to learn the principles and foundations of law of attraction through my own life experience. And then Mindful Manifestation Secrets Daily Guide and Journal is also on Amazon. It is a great resource. It is a beautiful journal, and it's a great daily guide to living your most high vibrational life possible. One other thing I like to share is the realmushrooms.com. This is my discount. I take lion's mane and I also take the 5 defenders. If you want to stay healthy, if you want to stay in a high vibration, I am a huge proponent of plant medicine and mushrooms. Watch Fantastic Fungi on Netflix or Change Your Brain. Those are the 2 incredible documentaries about the power of mushrooms in our life. All right, you guys, that is my show for today. I love you all. I am super excited for this life, for this story, for all the things that are happening, and for all the things that are happening for you. Peace.